You have to trust private sector.
Yeah.
Don't work with the government. I really believe that Pakistan is not a third world country. We have third world country problems, but we have a lot of things in this country that countries don't progress without government investment. So the only example for 4, 5, I hate Western development. I think it's the worst model. It's basically all of their money comes from colonialism. It's been a closed way of developing, but now they're the leading countries in the world. And it's because the government has invested in every form of business. 50% पैसा मैं डाल रहा हूँ, 50% पैसा गवर्नमेंट डाले, और जो मैंने भी अपना 50% पैसा डाला है वो मुझे बैंक से एक बड़े रिडिकुलस लोन पे मिला है. और एक कौम को, एक मुल्क को इतना डिवाइड और इतना पोलराइज्ड मजहब और सियासत के ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो ये भूल जाए कि हमारे लिए बेहतर क्या.
Welcome to another episode of True Essence podcast, which we started from the platform of Future Fest to kind of talk about true essence of things, right? All things in life. We are focused on tech, but then tech influences everything, and tech can change everything, and tech is the future of everything, which is something we believe, especially in this country. So that is why we try to invite different industry leaders, experts, success stories from all walks of life, and try to find things we can learn personally at our event, at our organization, myself, and also share these learnings with the audience. So we have today with us the one and only Shahbaz Taseer, whom I hope a lot of you know, but the rest of you can just Google. I think I'll start with the recent bit. So he's the author of a book called Lost to the World, 5 years of captivity in Taliban rule, not Taliban rule, by Taliban in Afghanistan. And then he's the one of the directors of the PACE group, which is all the PACE malls and the PACE Tower, and a big business group of Pakistan. Sunday Times used to have a TV.
I had 2 TV channels.
Okay.
Zyka and Business Plus.
Yeah.
We have Daily Times, Sunday Times, Aajkal, PACE First Capital Group, which is financial services as well. We have, a lot of different.
Yeah, so lots of different things. And please look up the book, buy it. It's on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's limited availability in Pakistan because of the import ban, unfortunately, but we are working to try and get it here as fast as we can.
Yeah, maybe
we've already sold a lot of books here, so that's amazing.
Amazing.
And the crazy thing is that they told me that Pakistan is not a book market.
But you made it a book market, so I think you proved them wrong.
Yeah, I think we're 250 million people.
Yeah.
So we're a market for everything.
Oh, wow.
And anyone who ever says that Pakistan iske liye sahi nahi hai, they've got it wrong.
Yeah.
This is one of the world's biggest, and to be absolutely correct, probably the 5th biggest market in the world. Untouched.
Yeah.
Untouched.
Untouched.
So there's an opportunity for everyone and everything.
Yeah. No, I think I love your point of view on this. I believe that I think this is the biggest frontier market that is left untouched, right?
Yeah.
So I will explain this. Like even in Vietnam or Bangladesh or Nigeria, there is so much going on, right? You compare Pakistan, there is so much to do. And that so much to do is the opportunity in every space: education, healthcare, real estate, development, housing. There is everything needs to be, there's room for innovation in everything. And I think that is the opportunity when someone can come in and just like leapfrog again and, bring like the latest technology. Yango was in 33 countries and then they came to Pakistan. So what we're experiencing is learnings of operating and launching in 33 different countries of the world. In one way, yes, it's late to Pakistan, but in the other way, we got the good product, right? We didn't get the first iteration. We didn't get the first iteration of a lot of technologies. We got refined tools.
Yeah.
But, what do we do with these tools? I think that is what will define the future of this country and this generation. I would just like to highlight here that your father, Salman Taseer, I think I consider him as one of the earliest supporters of the technology ecosystem that exists now, right? So he was the founder of World Call, which was which, I think I have experienced myself also, but like a lot of people know it as the first broadband company with like cards, and you buy a card and you do it. And this is like old time stuff, right? DSL,
Yeah.
3G, 4G is very late. But having that sort of vision as an entrepreneur.
So there was Edge in 2011.
Okay.
अब तो कोई Edge, I think, if अगर आपका phone E दिखाए, that means it's all gone to hell, right?
हाँ जी,
Yeah.
So
E was the latest.
It's like your, yeah.
I'll tell you a really funny story. When we started, when Abba started World Call, I was much younger, so I was involved in my businesses in the middle of the 2000s.
Okay.
So before that, I was much younger, but my father made me start working with him when I was 12.
Amazing.
So I used to see him do a lot of things firsthand, just as an intern.
Wow.
And when I was younger, I think I used to think it was like, yaar, kya, summer holidays, hain, abba office leke jata hai. But now when I look back at it, some things happen to you in life and you're just lucky.
Yeah.
And the fact that Salman Taseer mujhe office leke jata tha turned out to be a blessing for me. It's sad because I didn't get in as a professional. As a qualified professional, I didn't get a lot of time with my father, maybe a year or two before I lost him. But I saw him for maybe 15 years. But anyways, so when my father found out about the internet,
okay.
Now let me explain that there's two things. One is the internet.
Okay.
What you get with Google and all the data that is accessible once the connection has gone through.
Yeah.
And then internet, Edge, 4G, 5G, etc.,
Connectivity.
Broadband connectivity. My father realized that if you can give through data and connectivity, right? If you can, through connectivity, give people access to data for free, there is nothing like that in the world. Now, in the 90s, this was very confusing because it was a relatively new concept. The internet and internet connections, they were both new concepts. And like I was telling you, my parents' generation was a manual generation. They had to do everything. So if they wanted to drive from here to there, or like coming to you right now, I was like, this location page, right? Say, yeah. I mean, that's how simple it is. But in 1996, if I was coming over here, I wouldn't even have a way of calling you. मैं अपने घर से निकलते हुए landline से तुम्हें phone करूँगा. And वही हमारी, that's our last storm, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would go around for 20 minutes looking for your house. I wouldn't find it and I'd go back. And now I was telling you about my parents in Italy with the huge maps and finding, a 1 hour road, but it was so difficult. And now everything is, as easy as this.
Yeah.
And he realized that we can take all these large texts and we can put them into simplified ways of getting it through the computer to people. And he realized that the computer, which was about as big as this light back then, right, is going to only become smaller, like all things.
Okay.
And I think we sold the company in 2004, 2005. It was a huge sale again. We sold it to a foreign Omantel. It was a big deal. Very few Pakistani companies had sold for that kind of money to foreign organizations. So, my father was the deal as far as a self-made businessman in Pakistan was concerned. But the crazy thing is the man himself didn't know how to operate a laptop or a computer.
Okay.
When the iPad was invented, the first iPad, I had it. And he saw me using it, and it was very difficult to use it because of connectivity issues and, वो चलता नहीं था इधर के हमारे systems के साथ. But he saw what I was doing, and he realized for the first time in his 65 years of his existence on this earth, with having access and opportunity to everything, right?
Okay.
This is the first time that he can learn to use a computer because they've simplified all of it for him. So he picked up the iPad and he used to touch it like this to a point where it started going like this, to a point where he could now, I saw this.
Wow.
Things that I was taught in class 1 to type without looking, right? Understand the keyboard. You know, हमें जो computer classes में, I saw my father at 65 suddenly realize he couldn't, उसको वो नहीं पता था keyboards पे placement कैसे करनी, he lost it. And like, I'll tell you a funny story. I told my father, oh, you have to buy this phone, it's the best. It's got email, it's got this, it's got those big Nokia ones that you used to open. This is like 98 or something.
N73.
And something, I think उससे भी पहले यार, I'm in 96, 97.
Okay.
And he's looking at me confused because when I'd say email, it sounded like a burden to him. He क्या बातें कर रहा है, email और ये और वो, to a point where he's like, यार, I have a secretary. And तुम मेरा दिमाग ना खराब करो. And I was like, you can do this you can do this. And he's like, just get out, you're confusing me. But the iPad gave this man access, and he finally realized all that work he'd done was now, he realized what that internet connection into this kind of a device, now 15 years later, you know, you're in 2009, 2010 is when these iPads started coming. And now the access to information, now he was one of the first politicians, I think, in the world to start using Twitter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and interacting with the common man.
Yeah.
You know, कितने आपके सियासतदान हैं जो आम आदमी को वक्त देते हैं या बात भी करते हैं, लेट लोन सोशल मीडिया पे रिस्पॉन्ड करें,
ऐसे,
you know, but वो करता था और बड़ा उसको मजा आता था, and he enjoyed interacting. He realized these primitive platforms at that time would suddenly allow the world first-hand access to human beings, and that they would be tools of accountability as well. Wow. That you would no longer be able to get up to things and brush them. And now you can see that a politician is criticized like he could never be criticized.
Yeah, yeah.
In a similar manner, it used to cost about it still costs $100,000 a year to get a decent university education.
Yeah.
I know that sounds 100,000, you're crazy. It doesn't cost that much. It does cost that much. It costs your parents that much money. So when people tell you, ye elite hai aur main elite nahi hu, if you go to a university, you're entitled and very privileged. I mean, not entitled, but you're very privileged. Okay. Because your parents have had to cough up this money and work really, really hard for it. And anytime you get something from someone else, that's a privilege. Something that you haven't worked for, it's a privilege.
Okay. Makes sense.
So if somebody is spending $100,000 a year to become, say, a doctor in 4 years,
yeah,
right? वो भी undergrad. अगर आपने प्रोफेशनल बनना है तो $6 lakh से $7 lakh आपका लगेगा. अगर आपने लॉयर बनना है आपका $5 से $6 lakh लगेगा. अगर आपने इंजीनियर बनना है अमेरिका से, आपका $5 से $6 lakh लगेगा. अच्छा, आप इसको कॉस्ट कम कर सकते हैं, आप आईवी लीग में ना जाएं, मगर फिर आपकी क्रेडेंशियल्स क्वेश्चन होते हैं.
कम्युनिटी सेंटर में
हाँ, कम्युनिटी कॉलेज में गए हैं और हार्वर्ड से जो बच्चा ग्रेजुएट हुआ है उनका कोई कंपटीशन ही नहीं है, मैं तो हार्वर्ड वाले को पिक करूंगा हैंड्स डाउन. तो तुम हाफ प्राइस पे भी पढ़ लिया, तुमने डिग्री भी वो ले ली, मगर तुम्हारी लेवल नहीं है. अब क्या हो गया? Now I can get a Harvard degree sitting in law.
Yeah. You can do free courses.
I can do free courses. Acha, now I don't need to waste money or time in diplomas. ये जो एक ठप्पे और stamps होते थे, you don't need them.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you're hiring a CFO for a company, yes, I require your credentials, that you have basically been trained in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
There's no substitute for a chartered accountant except AI. AI will substitute a chartered accountant.
Absolutely.
But till the SCCP has a requirement that public limited companies have to have qualified chartered accountants as the CFOs, AI can't make a chartered accountants obsolete. So it's a requirement. So you have to hire one. But say in our world, media, real estate, technology, you don't need to go to a very expensive university.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do all of this online sitting at home.
Absolutely.
Acha, then the convenience of doing business, which is now we're sitting in our homes and working through what you would consider. If you told my father that you can work from home, he would fire you.
Wow. Okay.
The conversation, he died in 2011, so work from home is not even
existed.
Doesn't exist, you know.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley with have you seen the show? वो कब
Yeah,
निकला
the
था?
show.
शो कब निकला था?
I think 5-6 साल पहले.
2017, 15, 14 में गाने.
Yeah.
So 3 years after my dad, and even this incubator system of co-working, WeWorks, blah, 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 this incubator system of working, of from home creating things.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill Gates did it. Yes, Steve Jobs did it. Yes, a few other guys got out of their basement, but mainly this is not how it works, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to any of these big businessmen like Syed Babar Ali or Mia Mansha or my father or any of these big guys, and you're like, oh, I'm going to, वो आपका इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं एंड वो अच्छा आशीष आप क्या करते हैं? मैं प्रोग्रामर हूँ. आपकी सैलरी रिक्वायरमेंट कितनी है? 500,000 a week. आप कहाँ के पढ़े हुए? मैं डार्टमouth का पढ़ा हूँ, वेरी गुड कॉलेज इन द यूएस. ओह फैंटास्टिक. टिक 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 टिक. Work hours are 9 to 9. Sir, I'll work 9 to 9 but from home.
Yeah.
From Zoom.
Yeah. So it's a new thing for them.
He's dead. He doesn't understand it. Now the thing is, जब कोविड आया और ये कॉन्सेप्ट आना शुरू हुए, हमने इसको रिजेक्ट किया. मैंने और मेरे भाई ने.
ठीक है.
मैंने कहा कि ये ड्रामा है. और
लार्जली दुनिया ने रिजेक्ट किया था.
नहीं यार, बड़ी दुनिया आई है इसके ऊपर.
बट पहले जो 2 महीने थे ना,
हाँ,
उस टाइम दुनिया ने कहा जी काम रुक गया है,
रुक
कुछ नहीं हो सकता.
कुछ नहीं हो सकता.
और फिर तीसरे 1 महीने उन्होंने कहा नहीं काम चल रहा है. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा
आप सोचो कि टेक्नोलॉजी कहाँ पहुंच गई है कि उसने 3 महीने में जो दुनिया का गैप था उसको आइडेंटिफाई करके फिल कर दी.
एग्जैक्टली.
थ्रू Zoom and Google Meet and all
these tools.
And as awkward as it is,
yeah,
to work like this, we have been forced to work like this.
Yeah.
And it has been successful. And we've gotten work done. And in most cases, it's cheaper, firstly.
Yeah.
Secondly, you get more work done.
More productive.
Because aapne, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need to do this. चड्डी और बनियान के अंदर बंदा घर पे बैठा हुआ है. बॉस की कॉल आई है, शर्ट ऊपर पहनी है, नीचे चड्डी में. Seriously, यार, this is what मैंने खुद किया हुआ है.
Even like
I've given an interview like suit, shirt and shorts underneath because you can. And imagine the convenience. Just imagine the kind of convenience. And people are working, millions and millions of people are working from home. One of my best friends, I won't take his name because some of my videos are seen internationally and his boss might fire him. But very senior guy.
Okay. Left
Pakistan when he was 18. Got a job in England. Has been with the same company. So one of the very senior accountants in that company. As a matter of fact, he does business development for them. So, but balance sheets are part of his everyday work. And his work, okay, just to give you an idea. सुबह 5:30 बजे वो उठता था. ये उसकी 22 साल की उम्र से ट्रेनिंग है. 5:30 बजे वो उठता था. 6:30 बजे उसने दफ्तर पहुंचना होता था. वो अपना नाश्ता खुद बनाता था. जो भी उसके सुबह के काम होते थे वो उसको करने होते थे. और अपनी अपार्टमेंट भी लॉक करनी होती थी कि ये ना मैं काम पे गया हूँ तो somebody robs. So A to Z everything he caters for himself. Goes to office, comes back home at 10 o'clock at night. In a thankless, like हम लोग जब young थे, हम लोग तो बहुत lucky और privileged थे. I got to work with my father. But if you aren't that lucky or privileged, it's a grueling life in banks and 9 to 10. And it's actually वो कहते हैं 9 to 9 because there's no going home. The first guy to go home is the first guy to say कि मुझे promotion की ज़रूरत नहीं.
Yes.
So this poor guy, from the age of 22 to the age of 33, he works from 6:30 in the morning
to 10
to
p.m.
10 o'clock at night every day.
Oh wow!
By the way, it sounds oh wow.
Years?
It sounds oh wow right now. He was fine. He would get an hour of gym in there. He was up to date on TV shows. It's tough during the week when you see him. It's tough, but we'd go out on the weekend. He lived. But he managed this crazy.
Okay.
Then he got married, and then that's when I started saying कि यार इसकी दाढ़ी में सफेद बाल आना शुरू हो. Because जब उसका बेबी हो रहा था ना, वो सुबह उठता था, वो बेबी का नाश्ता भी बनाता था. ये because you have to help your wife. उधर कोई मेड नहीं है. सही है. तो ये नहीं है कि आपकी जो बीवी है वो कोई उधर आपकी सर्विस करने के लिए बैठी है. She's got her life, you've got your life. If you've had a kid, it's 50-50.
And you both need to contribute. Equal efforts,
both
right?
contribute.
Yeah.
Achha, when he started the contribution on as a parent, it started to he started to age. Okay.
Okay.
In a way, nothing wrong with it, but
yeah.
यार 9 to 10 एक ये crazy office life करना और फिर इसको भी control करना, it's mentally and physically exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he never complained. And this was his life
Amazing.
till COVID hit.
Amazing.
And as soon as COVID hit, they said work out of home. He hasn't gone back to work.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's still working out of home. And he's the best employee. And he's sitting there और उसका बेटा उसके साथ है, वो उसको दूध पिला रहा है, ठक 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 कर रहा है. He can take half an hour off. He can walk to the grocery store, get his groceries. He's a happier. He started aging in reverse again.
Yeah.
At 37, 38.
Yeah.
He started aging in reverse because of working from home. Now he's a qualified professional who's worked for proper, big company in England.
Yeah.
And, but, work from home worked for him.
Yeah.
But just the fact that something like this, what I'm trying to tell you is that 15 years ago, this is not even a concept.
Yeah.
And this is not even a conversation with an employer.
Yeah.
But technology has brought us to a place where it's now an option that an employer gives you.
Yeah.
While hiring you.
Yeah. It's a new way of life.
It's a new way of life.
Especially, I think the fundamental shifts in human society, right? And because they're so recent that we haven't totally understood the impact, right? What is the impact of people working from home on cities? You don't need to go out. You don't need as many roads. You don't need as many shopping malls. Do you need as many, I don't know, cars even, right? Less people go out. Like, what happens? Fuel consumption. What happens to nice clothes? You don't go out. You can wear like whatever, and you don't have to.
So one of the things that you and I are working on, and how I met you actually, how we became friends, is what you're saying. This shift. And I was in commercial real estate.
Yeah.
I used to develop low-income shopping malls and small units and sell the unit onto an investor. And the product inside the unit would cater to the masses. So the investor is getting a return on his investment. And we had a lot of success. And I'm talking about a lot of success over like 13, 14 projects.
Yeah.
So phenomenal amounts of success. The formula worked.
Pace was rightfully the first shopping mall in Lahore. Right? Pace Gulberg.
Well, let's say...
one of the first.
It was the first international standard shopping mall. We had escalators, we had an elevator, we had central air conditioning.
Modern shopping
mall. Yeah. Otherwise, things existed, but they were pretty...
Like Panorama?
Yeah, I didn't want to take names. It's not nice. Because now people say it about me. I'm now the Panorama, and when you look at the Dolmens and you look at the packages and you look at the Nishats, Pace's model is out. Except before they could bankrupt me, my brother and I saw this shift in about 2019 when COVID hit. Before COVID hit, we realized that people, and I realized that I am now going onto this device, swiping I buy my sneakers. I'm a big sneaker guy, so you can see I've got these crazy, right? Yeah. It's not like that I'm into cheetah print. It's just that I have crazy sneakers.
Yeah.
I buy all my sneakers from these 2-3 guys, and they source unique stuff, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Now I know my foot size. You can see it over here. It's 9.5 US, right?
Yeah.
I don't need anything. Adidas and Nike is 9.5. वो जो dress shoes होते हैं उसका फर्क है, but anyways वो आपको you have to buy a dress shoe yourself. You can't buy it online.
Yeah.
But this is a set size.
Okay. Yeah.
I have not gone to a store and bought a sneaker, and I have hundreds of sneakers.
Wow.
I have not bought a sneaker from a store in 3-4 years unless कोई वो था, मैं था उधर किसी अच्छी शहर में और मैं गया. कपड़े, चाहे वो जीन्स हैं, टी-शर्ट्स हैं, जैकेट्स हैं, कुछ भी है, स्वेटर है, कोई किस्म की चीज़ है, मैं उसको अपने फ़ोन पे ख़रीदता हूँ टू अ पॉइंट कि मैं अपने बच्चों की जो शॉपिंग करता था, जिसके लिए मुझे जाना होता था मॉल्स और ये खिलौने और ये सारा, वो मैं अली बाबा के थ्रू उसने भी मेरा मसला सारा हल कर दिया. And as a matter of fact, the kind of options that I have, I don't even have in Pakistan. So for me to go to packages is a waste of my time and life. मैंने वो कपड़े ही नहीं मुझे मिलेंगे जो मैं खरीदना चाहता हूँ, और वो मुझे 5 working days में मेरे घर पे मिल रहे.
चाइना से.
Retail is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we converted our malls in 2019. We said finish these shopping malls and start converting them into office spaces. Start converting them into co-working spaces. Start converting. अच्छा मेरे जो इन्वेस्टर्स थे ना पहले उनको बड़ा मसला है.
ठीक है.
उन्होंने कहा यार जो भी है कमर्शियल पे हमें ज़्यादा पैसा मिलता है. बट मैंने उनको दिखाया फॉर एग्जांपल मेरा सबसे सक्सेसफुल मॉल जो था उसका टॉप फ्लोर बंद हो गया था.
ठीक है.
वो ग्राउंड फर्स्ट और सेकंड पे चल रहा था और उसका थर्ड एंड फोर्थ मिनिमल ऑक्यूपेंसी पे चल रहा था. बट सेकंड पे भी थोड़े थोड़े बैक साइड्स पे दुकानें चली चली. फर्स्ट पे भी जाना शुरू हुई, ग्राउंड पे भी जाना शुरू हुई, लोअर ग्राउंड पे भी जाना शुरू हुई. तो मैंने उनको बता दिया, मैंने कहा तुम्हारे जो फ्रंट के शॉपकीपर्स हैं ना सिर्फ तुम लोग कमर्शियल चलाओगे, बाकी सब की दुकानें बंद हो जाएंगी. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू पे जो आपका यूटिलिटी बिल है ना विद द कॉस्ट गोइंग अप. इजंट इट ईजियर अगर मैं ये फेक वॉल्स हटा दूं जो हमारे 8-8 हज़ार स्क्वायर फुट के एरिया है, इमीडिएटली जब हम आइलवेज और ये सारा रिमूव करते हैं हम 8,000 से 12,000 स्क्वायर फुट पे आ जाएंगे, यूजेबल एरिया पे आ जाएंगे. सेकेंडली जब आप एक प्रोफेशनल के साथ काम करते हैं, जब एक कंपनी आती है and they take over your commercial space and they start operating in office over there, right? They take the utility bill onto themselves.
Yes.
So your service charge is no longer, you're not paying liable for it.
Okay, interesting.
So you're only earning cash.
Yeah.
So 1-2 हज़ार रुपए पर स्क्वायर फुट आपका गिरा होएगा. सॉरी कुछ 100 रुपए भी बहुत बड़ी अमाउंट होती है. 30-40 रुपीज स्क्वायर फुट आप हिट लोगे, मगर आपकी इतनी बड़ी बड़ी जो लाइबिलिटीज होती थी वो सारी उतर गई हैं और आप घर पे बैठे और आपको एक चेक आता है महीने
ऐसे
विद 10% इंक्रीज. नाउ ऑब्वियसली ऑफिस भी बंद हो जाता है, बिजनेस भी बैंकक्रप्ट हो सकता है, वो तो बात नहीं है. बट जो सिक्योरिटी है, जो आपको सिक्योरिटी इन्वेस्टमेंट पे मिल रही है कि फॉर एग्जांपल पेप्सी इंटरनेशनल मेरी 2 फ्लोर्स पे बैठा है, या रियलिस्टिक एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ, अस्करी बैंक मेरे 3-4 फ्लोर्स पे बैठा है, एमसीबी मेरे 3-4.
आई थिंक एयरलिफ्ट भी बैठा था ना.
एयरलिफ्ट वो तो रेंट कर रहे थे किसी की जगह.
ठीक है.
बट से जो ओनर्स हैं और अपनी जगह पे ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, बड़े बैंक्स हैं सारे. यार can you have a better client? I don't know. I never have to worry about anything. I don't have the insurance is done.
There's no headache.
There's no headache. They pay their own diesels on time. Instead of running after 400 shopkeepers for 200 square foot shops, I deal with one client for 12,000 square feet and multiply it by 5, say in a shopping mall or in my tower, go 21. So I have 21 में आधा कर लो 15 client कर लो. I have 15 checks that come to me at the end of the month. My work, like, you know what uncle said before leaving, don't work hard, work smart.
Yeah.
Instead of collecting from 500 individuals,
wow,
right, I collect from 15 and 500 individuals go to the bank account and take what's theirs and have zero connection. So my work hours have been reduced by almost 90%. To a point of supervision.
Wow, amazing. Let's talk about payments.
Yeah, so I was telling you payments, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the biggest problems, actually, the crazy thing is I have my company ki history since the shopping mall says since 2000, right? So 23 years ki, you can see it manual to digital. So today my bill will be sent via email or whatever. Okay. And before it was a printed thing जो दुकानदार को देते थे, कैश रिसीव करते थे और अकाउंट्स के अंदर हाँ लेके आते थे. सोचो यार 200 स्क्वायर फुट की दुकान का ठप्पा आ रहा है, मलिक अजीम ने 4,500 रुपीज मतलब 4,500 रुपए इस सर्विस चार्ज के लिए दिए, 300 रुपए डीजल, यू नो लाइक इस तरह करके आप 7,000 रुपए के लिए एक इंसान आपने अपॉइंट किया हुआ है जो पूरा फ्लोर कवर कर रहा है कलेक्शन डे पे. और 14 तारीख को आपका बिल आता है, 14 से 24 तारीख तक आप 400 शॉपकीपर से कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं यूटिलिटी, बिजली का बिल, वापटा का बिल.
क्रेजी.
अच्छा, एक दुकानदार के पास जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं सर आज वो हो गया, ये हो गया, कल आ जाए. वापटा नहीं ये सारा कुछ सुनता. अब इट्स I'm just the pressures on me, the connections and now the ease, metered systems, banks pay themselves, Investors get their cash straight through an account. It doesn't even require I don't even need to look at it.
Wow.
You know?
Amazing.
So yeah, it's just like the ease of doing business is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. No, I think this has been a wonderful conversation on how you see technology from your perspective and also how it has affected your business, right? So from this, I think what I would love to discuss more about is that, you run this big real estate group, and then you have all these projects that are already out there in the public. But then you see and understand technology. So what do you think is something that you can, maybe build for technology?
The thing is, I have a lot of young people that come to me right now and say, okay, we're feeling very disfranchised, which is very scary.
Okay.
Because someone feeling disheartened is very different from feeling that you're not part of something.
Yeah. That you don't belong.
That you don't belong. And that the system is so broken that you don't really want to either. I had this really, really smart friend who just left for Saudi because he said that I don't want to bank the next 15 years of my career in Pakistan. I would rather take this risk in Saudi.
Yeah.
And I respect that and I understand that. But a lot of people don't understand this about myself. I'm extremely privileged to be born in the house that I was born in and to have inherited some of the things that I have inherited.
Okay.
Very few people get an opportunity to inherit a foundation for something that can be a corporation.
Yeah.
If they dedicate themselves and work really hard.
Yeah.
And by the way, not to blow any air up my own backside, but a lot of this is because of my mother and my younger brother. They are very hard working, dedicated individuals and my team, because none of this is possible without them.
Yeah.
So what we've seen is that if firstly, the privilege is there, and so I have this opportunity, I've also fought very hard to come back home, to be here, to live in this country.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to Saudi. I don't want to go to Dubai. I don't want to go to London, because I want to be able to walk anywhere. And for the person that I have a meeting with to say, you're Salman Taseer's son.
Oh,
and that's how I'd like to start the meeting. And maybe, inshallah, one day when I say, Assalamu alaikum, my name is Shahbaz Taseer, that has significance of its own. You have to work very hard for these things. I've always felt, and this is something that's been taught to me by my parents, this is an untapped market. It's a diamond. And anytime you work hard on an idea, and I saw that with WorldCall, I saw that my father do it with Pace, I've seen my father do it in brokerage, I've seen him do it with insurance, I've seen him do it with concepts that, traditionally you're like, well, how did you develop a brokerage firm, or mutual fund, investment bank? How does it work?
Yeah.
You understand? And then you went into real estate, and then you done this, and then why so many different things that are not connected? But that just shows you how many things there are in this country that have absolutely no connection, that one single person can run and make a lot of money out of.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity in this country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made in this country. Yeah. I believe with all my heart that the next boom is the tech boom.
Yeah.
Some of the stories that we're going over, my 1.5-year-old son, who already knows, hey Siri, play Baba Black Sheep, he's going to be really different from as an 18-year-old as when I was an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
With my Walkman, and he's not going to be that 18-year-old. Everything will be at his fingertips. He might be paying with his palm. It's a real thing now.
Yeah.
This is all happening now.
Yeah.
His things will be delivered to him. Hum 5 working days abhi keh rahe, which we think is unbelievable. 1 hour through a drone into his room.
Essay.
So this, when I talk about the possibilities, the amount of money, the kind of job creation, the kind of impact that it can have on Pakistan, I promise you this industry can turn us into, I anyways don't think we're a third world country, but it can take us to that step between second and first. I really believe that Pakistan is not a third world country. We have third world country problems, but we have a lot of things in this country that, other people don't have, like land security, लोगों के अपने घर होते हैं. Hamari homelessness is not like other countries. Like, for example, you've got some of the largest ghettos in the world in Brazil. You've got some of the largest ghettos in the world in India. I saw one in Bombay. I've never seen anything like that in Pakistan. There was something like 2 million people that lived in a ghetto.
Oh, wow.
On a sewage line. We don't have that in Pakistan.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Karachi maybe a little bit, but again, it's 25 million people. So the rest of Pakistan. And anyways, even if we are, there's a lot of hope.
Yeah,
okay.
There is.
And if you apply yourself correctly, if you have political stability and political will, because actually countries don't progress without government investment.
Absolutely.
So the only example for 4, 5, I hate Western development. I think it's the worst model. It's basically all of their money comes from colonialism. They've looted countries, and that's how they had the investment to build the countries in the West that you see today.
Yeah.
But when you go to countries like China, when you go to countries like the UAE, when you go to even India, Singapore, when you go to Hong Kong, not Hong Kong, but Singapore, even Saudi, or all the Gulf countries that are developing at a fast pace, Qatar, Saudi, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, any of these guys, even Turkey. It's phenomenal what these countries have done. Okay,
Absolutely.
They have actually been looted by the West, and in return, what they've done is it's been a closed way of developing, but now they're the leading countries in the world.
Absolutely.
And it's because the government has invested in every form of business. Now, I hate it when people get into wo democratic, wo socialist, wo communist. Dekho yaar, Saudi Arabia एक kingdom है, टर्की एक किस्म की डेमोक्रेसी है, और चाइना एक कम्युनिस्ट कंट्री, और सिंगापुर भी एक वन पार्टी सिस्टम है. सारों के फर्क रूलिंग सिस्टम्स है, मगर उन्होंने अपनी कॉमों के अंदर, अपने बिजनेसेस के अंदर, अपने इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अंदर इन्वेस्ट किया. नॉट करप्शन. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल पीआईए प्राइवेटाइज हो रहा है, मगर उसके यूनियन ने ब्लॉक कर दिया.
अच्छा.
हाँ, क्यों? क्योंकि इट्स लाइक अ मिलियन पीपल लिविंग ऑन वेलफेयर एंड बेनिफिट्स, एंड उसमें आधे आर फेक नेम्स, are names that don't exist. खाचा लगा हुआ है यार. जब आप यूनियंस में सैकिंग करते हैं, आप कॉस्ट कटिंग करते हैं, PIA can be a profitable airline tomorrow. You just finished the union.
Wow.
You're paying
Crazy.
so much money in retirement fees to old corrupt bureaucrats and this and that, and you're basically subsidizing their lives, and that's why you're bankrupting institutions. Whereas you should be investing in the private sector. For example, if I'm developing a project, 50% पैसा मैं डाल रहा हूँ, 50% पैसा गवर्नमेंट डाले, और जो मैंने भी अपना 50% पैसा डाला है, वो मुझे बैंक से एक बड़े रिडिकुलस लोन पे मिला है. मतलब कि द ईज ऑफ बिजनेस, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस. अब देखें, पाकिस्तान में लोग मुझे कहते हैं कि यार रेड टेप बढ़िया, हमारा दिमाग खराब कर दिया है. मगर पाकिस्तान में जो फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे SECP है या STZA है या इस तरह की जो इदारे, स्टेट बैंक हैं, आपके जो इदारे हैं, अगर आप इनके साथ काम करें ना, तो जो आपकी गाइडलाइंस हैं वो काफ़ी ईजी है. आप उनको अगर आप देखें ना कि ईज ऑफ, फंस जाते हैं हम रेड टेप में, मगर बड़ा एक अच्छा क्लीन मैकेनिज्म क्रिएट किया गया है बिजनेस कम्युनिटी के लिए कि आए. अब इस पे then there's the next step. I was having that conversation. I said, don't invest with the government, invest in the private sector. You'll get better returns, and you'll meet better people as well. I was sitting with these wonderful people. Again, I don't want to say who, but they were Australians, and they'd done 8 rounds of meetings with bureaucrats and government officials, and then they met me in the end, and we had a nice night and fun conversation. And I told them in the end, I was like, I know that your job requires that you do all these rounds. But just trust you have to trust private sector. Don't work with the government. Come and work with us.
I think that's a lovely message. No, I think fundamentally government's role is to facilitate the people and the private sector to build things, right? So for government to say that, okay, let us make our own tech tower, right? Or let us make our own housing society, or let us make our own,
They're so different. Don't you think the tech tower, like Arfa Tower, and then, the judges scheme in Islamabad or something. I don't even know what gets you in trouble nowadays. A government has no role in
but like,
land.
okay, no matter the motivation, like, okay, make Arfa Tower, right? Do a tender, do a JV, make it with the industry, make a software, make it through a private company, make a car, make it through a private company, promote. So the government should create goals. The government should say, okay, we need, I don't know, an electric vehicle in Pakistan. This is a mandate. We are going to subsidize, invest, we will promote innovation. We want indigenous companies to come in and they build the solution, and then the government will subsidize for you to scale because it is in our interest. The government should not build their own unit to make electric vehicles, right?
But that's what, unfortunately,
that's what
but
that
what
has
you're
been
saying
happening,
is right, and that's exactly what you need. Now the thing is that this country, हम लोग ये numbers जो है ना 250 million people, 250 million people, ये मजाक का number नहीं है.
ऐसे
ये एक गोल्ड माइन है.
ऐसे
जब आप 250 मिलियन कहते हैं ना, तो $1 अगर आपने 250 मिलियन लोगों पे कमाया तो आपने 250 मिलियन
डॉलर कमा लिया.
सही है. एंड दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स. रुपए में कमाया, आने में कमाया, जैसे भी तुमने कमाया 250 मिलियन है. ये आपका फाउंडेशन है कुछ भी शुरू करने के.
बिल्कुल.
तो anyways, so basically helpless patriot and I really, really believe that this country has a fantastic future. And I've worked with people from all over, including the Taliban, but I very rarely found actually such a genuine kind of people anywhere in the world. Maybe the Japanese are better than us.
Okay.
And
then I must go to Japan now.
I've worked with a lot of people in America. I've worked with a lot of people in the UK, and the work aesthetic of a Pakistani is serious. And I think we tend to put ourselves down a little bit more than say that than other people. But it's a phenomenal country with unreal potential and untapped potential.
Absolutely.
And
just adding to your point, I think, we build this community center, and then there's a lot of cultural things, right? And so then people come and they assume that this is because, yes, we host non-Pakistanis, right? You have a lot of foreigner guests. Yes, you want to showcase culture. So I tell them, no, I'm showcasing this to you as well, right? Because we've forgotten ourselves, right? We undervalue, like, we don't need to market Pakistan to people outside. We need to market Pakistan to people in Pakistan, people who are Pakistani here and there and everywhere, because we have just lost hope and we don't see the bright things and we don't see.
And I don't want to cut you, Arzish, but when you say we, the other really important thing about that is from that 250 million people, the we that you speak of is about 80% of us under the age of 30.
Right? Absolutely.
You can't suffocate and, excuse my language, or constipate
a young generation.
That kind of a young generation. Now, my kid, 1.5, city, Baba Black Sheep. This generation needs more than any generation is needed. Right? So, like, sometimes I hear about regressive stuff like ban TikTok. I don't understand TikTok. Maybe 10 years ago, it would have been amazing for me. But even with TikTok, I found a way of making it work for me.
Absolutely.
Motivational speaker,
like a
author.
positive use.
There is a use in everything. Nothing is outdated. I have this incredible uncle. He was my father's best friend, and he was an investor with my father, and he's still a director in my companies. His name is Iqbal Latif. He's on social media. You should follow him. He's a phenomenal man.
Sure.
He has created a world for himself.
Wow.
His sons are homeschooled, all work in the best banks or private venture capital funds, or across. He himself works with the Kuwaitis very closely, owns a hotel in London, properties all over, big investor in Pakistan, bought Dunkin' Donuts to Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, he said something and he's like 70, right? Or sorry, Uncle Iqbal, maybe he's younger than that. But you should never presume someone's age. he said something. He's like, if you don't want to be on social media, don't be on social media. But you're the only loser because this is where the world is.
Yeah.
And this is where business is moving, and this is where thought is moving.
Yeah.
And if you have the best brand and you have the best product, but it's not on social media, you've lost half the battle. And you should never start anything on a losing foot. Always be on your
winning
front. Now, just to give you an example, Mia Mancha is on Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you think Mia Mancha enjoys Twitter? No, he doesn't. But he has to be on Twitter because he understands. He employs thousands and thousands of people, generates billions of dollars for Pakistan.
Yeah.
People want to hear what he has to say. So whether he likes it or whether he doesn't like it, he has a public account. And this, that there's someone who's made a lot of money who understands what this country needs.
Yeah.
And so on that note, young population, I think 70% of us under 30, phenomenal potential. We're just kind of right at that place waiting to take off, but kabhi tabdili aati hai, kabhi nahi aati hai, kabhi नया पाकिस्तान आता है, कभी पुराना आता है. तो अगर ये जरा सा बस थोड़ी सी देर स्टेबल हो जाए ना, तो देखें पोटेंशियल कांट बी क्वेश्चन. मैं तो चाहता था तीनों एक साथ बैठ जाएं टेबल पे जाके
और इकोनॉमिक
जाके ये तीनों में से कोई ना कह सकते उन दोनों की गलती थी, क्योंकि अकेले सबकी गलती तो हो गई. हम तो यही मानते हैं ना कि द लास्ट 15 years, whether it was the PPP, PMLN or PTI, उन्होंने बेड़ा गर्क किया.
No one did their job well.
So now अगर दो एक साथ कर रहे हैं, तीन ही कर लेते, at least nobody can say कि इसने किया या उसने किया.
Consensus build कर.
Consensus. We actually need consensus as a country. By the way, my last thing to you before I go is this is not some utopian idea. They have successfully done this in Singapore.
Okay.
My late Mamu, amazing man. His mind was of a broker, stockbroker. So he ran a company in Sri Lanka called Lanka Security. My Mamu was an amazing guy. He actually helped me finish my book and edit it and compile it as well. I think you also met him, but
I think yes, one time at your office.
He told me about, he loved Sri Lanka. He invested in Sri Lanka. He loved the people of Sri Lanka. His best friends were Sri Lankans. So I used to always laugh and just say कि मतलब मैंने सुना है that Chinese और मैंने सुना है Japanese, South Koreans, even Hong Kong, इनका हमने सुना है their brains are way in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
My Mamu said that's not true. So are the Sri Lankans are one level behind these guys.
Okay.
He said they've got 99% literacy in that country. And that's not a joke when you're going into millions. When you go into millions, to achieve that level of literacy means that the state has invested in the most crucial area of its public. It has successfully done an amazing job. It's reached over. If you reach 90% literacy, तुम्हें ये नहीं कोई कह सकता कि तुमने अपनी आवाम को फेल किया.
हाँ,
सही है.
Then you're done.
अच्छा, जब इनका ये डिफॉल्ट हुआ ना IMF वाला, और इनका आपने देखा था गवर्नमेंट का बड़ा प्रॉब्लम चला था, एंड दे बर्न्ट द प्रेसिडेंट्स होम. उधर भी करप्शन थी. दे सेट हिज कार फ्लीट ऑन फायर, रोल्स रॉयसेस, लैम्बोर्गिनीज. तो ये चोर भी थे और हर किस्म के मसले. पार्लियामेंट में उन्होंने बैठ के एक कंसेंसस लिया और उन्होंने कहा whoever presents the best plan is the way forward. और एक बंदा जिसकी एक सीट थी वो फॉरवर्ड आया and he had the best plan. But he said अगर आप चाहते हैं कि मैं ये करूं तो मुझे पूरे हाउस का 100% यूनानिमस कंसेंसस चाहिए कि आप ये करें, क्योंकि हमने ये करना है 10 साल और फिर हम इस मसले से निकल सकते.
Amazing.
And as a country, श्रीलंका ने as a country उनका सबसे गरीब आदमी और उनके सबसे अमीर आदमी को उनकी जो IMF की डेट और रीस्केड्यूलिंग और डिफॉल्ट है उसकी इम्पैक्ट हर क्लास के ऊपर क्या है, उन्होंने ये सारी कॉम को समझा के उनका कंसेंसस लेके दे ब्रॉट द प्रोग्राम ऑन बोर्ड.
वाओ.
अब है तो IMF प्रोग्राम ही और डिफॉल्ट भी उन्होंने किया, जो हम कितना आफत है पाकिस्तान में. दे डिफॉल्टेड.
ठीक है.
बट वो डिफॉल्ट करने के बाद भी वो एक नेशनल कंसेंसस के साथ आगे निकले. तो ये चीजें पॉसिबल भी है. और एक कॉम को एक मुल्क को इतना डिवाइड और इतना पोलराइज्ड मजहब और सियासत के ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो ये भूल जाए कि हमारे लिए बेहतर क्या।
ऐसे
यू नो व्हाट आई मीन,
ऐसे
वो एक आदमी
ऐसे
कह रहा था कि मैंने उसका एक कत्ल किया उसको बताने के लिए कि मेरा मजहब कितना पीसफुल है। यू सी द आयरनी। तो दिस इज नॉट व्हाट वी नीड टू डू। हमें इस रास्ते पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हमें एक इकोनॉमिक कंसेंसस की जरूरत है। इधर जो है वो मतलब बहुत आसान होता है कि आप जाएं और कहें कि ये 600 नसरानियों का मोहल्ला है और ये जो है ब्लास्फेमस है और हम इसको आग लगा दें। और बहुत मुश्किल होता है कि हम IMF की कंडीशन समझें और हम एक नेशनल कंसेंसस लें और इसकी तरफ जाए। यू अंडरस्टैंड? ये ज्यादा इजी है और ये ज्यादा मुश्किल है। मगर आप अपनी जो पब्लिक इमेज है ना दुनिया को जो हम देते हैं, वो ये होनी चाहिए कि हम सारे, चाहे उनकी दाढ़ी है, वो पर्दा करती हैं, ये शॉर्ट्स पहनते हैं, ये कोई किसी और मजहब का है, ऑल टुगेदर हम सारे एज पाकिस्तानी ये चीज कर सके। ये सारी चीजों का हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता जब घर में लाइट ऑन नहीं है और खाना नहीं। तो हमारी इम्पोर्टेंस है कि हमने नेशनल कंसेंसस लेके आगे बढ़ना है कि हम मजहब पसंद बन जाएं और शिया अब सुन्नी को मार रहे हैं और वो एक दूसरे को भी अब काफिर कहना शुरू हो गए हैं। तो इधर तो कोई मुसलमान ही नहीं रहा। सुन्नियों ने अपने बीच भी अपने कि मैं हानफी हूँ, तुम सालफी हो, तुम उंगली के साथ ये करते हो, उसकी उंगली। मैंने खुदा की कसम अपनी आंखों के सामने एक हानफी तालिबान ने एक सालफी अल कायदा वाले की उंगली काट दी, सिर्फ क्योंकि हम जब जाते हैं और हम कहते हैं अशहदु अल्लाह, हम ऐसे करते हैं और सालफी लोग ऐसे करते हैं। वो बेचारे गार में रहते हैं, उनको समझ में नहीं आई। उसने उसकी उंगली इस तरह करते देखी, उसने कहा ये पता नहीं क्या फितना शिर्क पता नहीं क्या कर है उसने। अल कायदा, अब टेररिस्ट दुनिया में अगर आप सोचें तो ये तो उनकी तो एक ही सोच है वो तो सारे साथ निकले थे लोगों को मारने, मगर एक उंगली के ऊपर उनकी इतनी इंटॉलरेंस होगी। तो हमने इस तरफ नहीं जाना, सही है, हमने जाना है श्रीलंका की तरफ।
ठीक है,
सही है।
ये बहुत आपने आई थिंक कमाल पॉइंट शेयर किया है कि उनका जो है वो टेररिज्म पे कंसेंसस है, उंगली पे नहीं है।
हाँ।
ठीक है, तो ये जो उंगली वाले मसले ये अगर हम खत्म कर लें तो हमारा मुल्क बड़ा आगे जा सकता है।
बेसिकली
तो हमारा कंसेंसस जो है ना, उंगली आउट ऑफ द थिंग, राइट? इट्स लाइक कि हर किसी की उंगली आ जाती है बीच में। तो और शायद मुल्क के साथ हो भी रहा है, हुआ भी है। मैं पर्सनली सिर्फ इसमें यही नोट ऐड करूंगा कि मेरे जो थोड़े से एक्सपीरियंसेस रहे गवर्नमेंट के साथ अदरवाइज काम करने में, मुझे बड़ी होप नजर आई। मुझे लगा यार देयर सो मेनी पीपल हु वांट टू work, who want to get work done, private sector, government. There is this weird system which doesn't allow you, right?
Yeah.
And someone needs to fix a system which hinders economic growth, right? Okay.
मुझे मियाँ साहब ने, I went to meet the Prime Minister to give him my book and discuss some things, and amazing by the way, because we come from different, almost rival families. And he asked me my opinion on his social media team and things like that. And I was quite, I had a lot of suggestions to improve it, which can be taken as criticism.
Okay.
But I very rarely come across a man who's willing to sit and listen to a person much younger than him and less experienced than him.
Yeah.
About something that maybe the person may know a little bit about.
Yeah.
And I was telling him in terms of relatively, I was like, because I've been doing a lot of marketing in the last 8-9 months, and there are a few fundamentals, right? So like a small fundamental, I was like, my brother and I are two different people.
Yeah.
We're not the same. We're brothers and we love each other, but we're two different people. And what that usually means is जब हम बैठते हैं कोई business की बात करने, तो we never agree on anything. वो left जाना चाहता है और मैं right जाना चाहता हूँ, और हमारी लड़ाइयाँ भी होती हैं और arguments भी होती हैं हर वक्त ऑफिस के अंदर। मगर अगर मैं और मेरा भाई कहीं भी जाएं तो वो कहते हैं तासीर भाई आए हैं, the Taseer brothers are here, Shahbaz and Shahryar are here.
Amazing.
You understand? They know that there is a unity at the top.
Yeah.
When I say that we argue or we fight, it's usually for something positive.
Yeah.
You understand? Our argument is not to regress. It's to do something to improve our lives and our businesses and move forward.
Yeah.
We have different point of views on doing that.
Yeah.
Right? So what I was just trying to tell him was that this image of unity is the most important thing when you speak of any image. So you might be doing 20 things, but because you don't have an image of unity, your things are lost. And maybe a little bit that's what the PMLN needs to focus on inside the party. And he was very receptive of, these are very young guys saying this to the Prime Minister of Pakistan is not okay. But, I have to say that he's a very intelligent guy and he's done some phenomenal things. We were just talking about Umar Saif and he's Shahbaz Sharif's guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of, by the way, the technological leapfrogging, as you call it, that the country has taken is under Umar Saif.
Yeah.
I'm saying is it's Umar Saif. It's not Umar. Umar Saif Saab.
Yeah.
And I follow him on Twitter. मैं कभी कभार PMLN वाले बहुत ज़्यादा बातें कर रहे होते हैं, मैं उनको कह देता हूँ तुसी सब दे सब जो सारे लीडर हैं वो ऐसे हैं तो वैसे हैं. बट दैट्स मेरी अपनी जो फैमिली की सियासत है. मगर शहबाज शरीफ very, very, very good man to work with. Bilawal, young, इससे बेहतर तो एडवांटेज ही नहीं है. एजुकेटेड, एक्सेसिबल और समझते हैं. I really liked Imran Khan and some of his team. You and me, वो हमने काम भी किया हुआ है उनके साथ, लोगों के साथ अच्छे थे. काश ये सारे एक साथ बैठते, दो बैठ गए, चलो जो भी आगे का रास्ता है. But the thing is that like you're saying, I also have a lot of faith when I meet the leadership. I know what the problem is.
Yeah.
It's as soon as you go, जो उनके नीचे लोग हैं ना, जो आपकी ब्यूरोक्रेसी है,
ऐसे
वहाँ आपका मसला आता है. ये सब चोर हैं, basically, no offense. 90% of them are all chores. पैसे लिए बगैर कागज नहीं मूव करते. ये रेड टेप क्रिएट करते हैं. आप प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ बैठ जाएं, चीफ में. इस मुल्क में सबसे बड़ा मसला क्या, आज प्रेसिडेंट अलवी ने भी कहा कि मैंने ये चीज रिजेक्ट कर दी थी, मैंने नीचे से जाके जो है ना
अप्रूव करा ली.
समझ में आई है ना. और यही इस मुल्क का मसला. आप पीएम के साथ बैठ जाएं, आप इतने इम्प्रेस होंगे कि जब आप उनकी सीनियर टीम के साथ भी बैठ जाए, बट जो लोगों ने ट्वीकिंग करनी होती है ना, वो कहते हैं ना चाकू.
ठीक है.
सो दिस इज
the biggest
a big problem. So I've actually recognized the issue and I've started telling them, "Eh tada banda te, eh tada banda te, eh tada banda je red tape." And I'll never forget there was a MI officer. उसने मुझे कहा था, कहता है कि sir, can I take a selfie? And I was like, मुझे कोई disease नहीं.
ठीक है.
And literally, and I thought वो कोई swab test करना चाह रहे हैं. Because वो उस वक्त वो मुझे medically check कर रहे थे. उन्होंने मुझे कहा, you have this disease called scabies, which is a skin infection. So he's like, can I take a selfie? And I was like, yeah, nahin, I don't have any diseases. And he's like, sir, a selfie, like a picture.
Wow.
And I was like,
okay.
What are you talking about? And then basically, तुम लोगों के लिए बड़ा normal है, because जब Instagram आया और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता evolve हुआ है, you've seen the entire process, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that as well, because जो मैं अपडेट जब भी करता हूँ तो वो चेंज हो जाता है थोड़ा सा.
बिल्कुल.
और महीने में 2 बार तो Instagram के अपडेट आते ही आते. So just imagine that it's a very basic app, but since 2016 they've done about almost 150 updates. So imagine how many updates they did before 2016 and to actually make it a finished product. Anyways, so I didn't know I was a foodie. And now all the restaurants that I want to go to, all the dessert places that I want, it's all on my Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And it knows my browsing process. So my search in my Instagram will keep giving me ideas about the places that I go to a lot.
And that is a very new experience for you.
It's insane. Like people keep talking about, यार मैंने अभी ये बात की थी और मेरे Facebook पे वो उसका ad आ गया.
ठीक है. आप ठीक है.
But they're saying it in a point of it's freaking them out. But they don't understand that how your entire world. Like I'll give you an example. I was about 12 years old when I went to Italy for the first time.
Okay.
There was a personal importance behind the holiday. My father loves Italy, and he thought कि ये बच्चे जो है ना ये दुबई वाले बच्चे बात.
अच्छा ठीक है.
सही है. तो
इटली वाला बना.
हाँ, इनको हमने जरा इटली वाला बच्चा.
ठीक है.
और उन दोनों बच्चों में बहुत फर्क.
बिल्कुल
सही है ना. जो दुबई वाला बच्चा होता है, जो इटली वाला बच्चा होता है, उसमें एक complete
difference.
When you meet the two people, you can tell एक की ग्रूमिंग कहाँ से हुई और दूसरा वो जरा कहते हैं ना बर्गर बच्चे जो होता है सही है. सो माई पॉइंट वॉज दैट मैं बड़ा 12 साल का था जब मेरी अपनी कल्चरल एनलाइटमेंट हुई थी और उसके बाद इट बिकेम माई फेवरेट प्लेस. हम हर समर 12, 13, 14 till my father died at 26, 27 we went every single year.
Wow.
एंड बेसिकली जब हम जाते थे, जब मैं 12 साल का था और हम गए थे, मेरे अब्बू रोम से फ्लोरेंस गए, फ्लोरेंस से वेनिस गए, वेनिस से पता नहीं किधर गए. मेरी अम्मी आगे बैठी हुई थी, उसने इतना बड़ा मैप खोला हुआ था कि मैं तुम्हें, अगर लोग एक्चुअली समझेंगे कि मैं एग्जैजरेशन कर रहा हूँ, मगर वो पूरे इटली का रोड मैप था और आपको लिटरली ऐसे ऐसे करके कि हम अभी इधर जा रहे हैं, इधर जा रहे हैं, इस तरह करना है, लेफ्ट लेना है, मिस हो गया, नजर नहीं आया, इटालियन में लिखा है, इंग्लिश का मैप है, एंड वी आर मेकिंग दीज 4 or 5 hour long drives.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't matter where I am in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just this.
Yeah, you just open up. Yeah.
And you know, my mother has difficulties. It's also about your training.
ठीक है.
So my mother has difficulty using Google Maps. Although it's so, वो अभी कह रहे थे ना कि don't work hard, work smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But her training is to work hard.
Okay.
It's to go through this really difficult procedure
to do something.
Get access.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? It's manual. They're a generation of manual.
And they're used to it.
And they're used to it.
And
we are not. We are a semi-automatic generation. And for example, my daughter is automatic.
Yeah, full
AI
automatic.
Integrated.
Yeah.
So like वो निकली थी the Facebook Oculus.
Yeah. Oculus, बिल्कुल.
And I'll never forget it. I put the Oculus on and I just couldn't understand what the hell was going on. It took me about 25 minutes to get my bearings right. But my daughter put it on and she knew exactly what to do from the first second. And she was 4.
Amazing.
And I was like 36.
Wow.
She was 4, I was 36, and she figured it out faster.
Crazy. And this is the adoption, right? This is the adoption that we keep talking about के जो पाकिस्तान की क्रेजी यंग पॉपुलेशन है. अब तो जो 2-4 साल है वो तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा यंग है, लेकिन ये कि इवन जनरली 70% यूथ है, 22 साल एवरेज एज है, पता नहीं क्या क्रेजी नंबर्स हैं. और उन लोगों की जो टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्शन है, डिस्पाइट Pakistan not having the best time economically, politically, whatever, globally, you see technology adoption at a crazy rate, right? So for example, Yango launched just like 3 months ago. Now they have such retention, such good user base. The users are enjoying a good service. They are launching cities after cities just because despite everything going on in the country, we are digitalizing, right? And this is something no one can stop. कि अब जो है वो, अब जो बच्चा, अब जो नया पैदा हो रहा है, जो 4 साल वाला, वो तो डायरेक्टली डिजिटलाइज है. लेकिन जिन 100 मिलियन के पास इंटरनेट नहीं भी है, उनको भी मिल रहा है. स्मार्टफोन सस्ते हो गए हैं, 3G 4G सस्ता हो गया. एंड दिस इज डायनामिकली शिफ्टिंग द स्केल्स, राइट? द इकोनॉमिक्स, हाउ यू अर्न, हाउ यू लर्न.
सो अभी हम 4 साल के बच्चे की बात कर रहे थे. आई विल टेल यू समथिंग इवन क्रेजियर.
ठीक है.
मेरा जो बेटा है ना, ही इज 1.5. अब वो डेली मुझे देखता है सुबह. माय phone and my TV are connected, so I just say, hey Siri, put on Baba Black Sheep, or hey Siri, put on Coco Melon, and his YouTube Kids opens on the TV and his things play. Now the thing is that he's a kid, he's been a little baby since he was born. I have now been integrated into this smartphone and home integration, and you understand, I picked it up really quick. It took me about 2 years to understand all of this, but once I understood it, now my ecosystem revolves around technology as well. I was very into technology before I got kidnapped. It's just that, like I said, we're a semi-automatic generation. Now it's the tools are there for the automatic generation. Anyways, now my son is 1.5. He sees every day what I'm doing, and I swear to God, the other day, and I'm not, and he's not even 1.5 yet. He picked up my phone. He goes, Siri, Baba Black Sheep.
Okay.
He knows that if he speaks into this device, what he wants will happen.
Wow.
He's 1.5, man.
Wow.
Crazy. I don't think that I had any kind of skill or understanding at 1.5. I'll be really honest with you. I think my mother, there was no television. It was very television was extremely different when I was a kid. In 84, 85, okay? And they used to have वो VCR की tapes होती थी, उसके ऊपर recorded cartoons चलाते थे. There was no like Cocomelon and all of this, like right now I need this for my child, bang, it's available right
wait
there.
करना पड़ता था.
Just didn't exist. So I actually remember my grandmother and my mother singing to me all the nursery rhymes. I remember growing up with my father and my mother reading to me, my khala reading to me, my mamu reading to me, my nana reading to me. And while reading, creating these, you know, like if we were reading Enid Blyton or something like that, you know, they would make it more magical. They would be performing the story. Whereas, okay, I guess I do that with my kids because I want that experience.
All those memories.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I don't sing to my kids because I play Cocomelon and I play all these things. So it's just it's just insane how it's just in every aspect of our life, technology is there.
Technology is disrupting.
And it wasn't so much, by the way, in 2011. The dunya, I think the bridge was being built between the technological world and us. Like it was there, the products were coming out, but not this kind of a link. Like I was still on an analog phone.
Okay.
You know, I had a BlackBerry. It was an analog phone. And can you imagine having a phone today on which there are keys that you press? And you might, like with the iPad, you have the magic keyboard. But now you're paying premium for that experience because it's outdated.
It's outdated. Absolutely. And I think one thing that I relate from now, your perspective, is that you kind of leapfrogged as well, right? So similar to this country, you know, because like a lot of people here, they're mobile first.
I love how people have all these words for my gap.
So it's like
leapfrogged.
So it's like
my mother says you went on an extended vacation.
No, so
I say I was kidnapped.
We always say about they're kidnapped. So we always, and we'll link your you know, the book and the podcast and what you've written about the story here, so the audience can read and, you know, listen to it as well. But I think because our audience is more tech, so we're having more fun talking about tech. I think when we pitch Pakistan or explain Pakistan, we try to understand what's going on in Pakistan in terms of technology. We say that, you know, third world countries leapfrog, right? So for example, because, you know, we did not have computer like America did, a lot of our people came straight to smartphones, right? This is similar to your, you know, 3-year-old child using a smartphone because they have never used a computer, right? So they are leapfrogging to this. I think it is more useful to leapfrog, right? For example, when you got kidnapped and did not experience the earlier generations of Instagram, now you start with like some advanced version of Instagram, right? And you make the most of the advanced version, right? Imagine someone like me, for example, being on the first version of Instagram. So I understand some of it. I think it works. Now, even if updates come, I'm still, you know, used to the old things, right? So like I never got into Reels or TikTok. I still don't use TikTok. Because I was already on Instagram and other things, I just never understood how to make this new thing work. Imagine if you just come to this new thing. Imagine the generation or the population that has only experienced TikTok and not Instagram. And I think
it also works in it. So Facebook existed. Right. And I don't know if you were probably too young to even remember Orkut.
Orkut, I remember. I haven't used it. But
it was a very primitive form of social media. We had Hotmail, Messenger, MSN Messenger.
MSN I've used.
Friends used to stay in touch through email. We had group emails. Okay. And it'd be like 8 of us friends in an email, और हम करते थे, और कोई अमेरिका में रहता था, कोई इधर, और thread चल रहा होता था. I'm talking about 99, 98.
अब उनका WhatsApp group है.
अब तो the same friends, we have a WhatsApp. The same 99 class जो मेरे थे, we have a WhatsApp group. Which is insane. I mean, just to basically give you 1 or 2 examples of leapfrogging, as we say. So in 2011, there was technology, right? But your phone didn't have the capability of taking a good picture.
Yeah. Okay.
And I had a very
Okay.
expensive BlackBerry.
Okay.
Bold to, I can't, okay. It was the top of the line BlackBerry.
Which had like there was this, I don't know, trackball or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was that was the newest thing in smartphones. You have this and it slides and, you know, it's such nice user
and
experience.
to just give you an example, and I'm sorry, I'm still learning all of this. But if
we all are.
Yeah, it's just a little more difficult for me than. So it goes to albums, I think. Sorry, photos and albums, and then it shows me pictures that I have actually taken. This is a funny picture
from the BlackBerry,
from the iPhone 1. This is a picture of me, by the way, in Las Vegas.
Oh wow!
With the iPhone 1.
Wow, amazing.
Okay, and if I just put this off and put my camera here and take a picture of you, that is about as professional of a picture as it gets.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, so the thing is that these phones were not used in this manner.
Yeah.
You know, I had a separate GPS device. By the way, there was a period that I had a Walkman. Okay, let's fast forward. I had a iPod.
Okay.
I had an iPhone.
Okay.
I had
first generation.
I had a camera, a Sony something with
Sony Coolvic
something with crazy thingies, megapixels or whatever it used to be back in the day, and all these different things like a Jaws, I don't know, jawbreaker, earphone, headpiece, about 20 different things to basically now what this one thing does, except for noise cancellation for which you can buy.
Yeah.
So besides now me being able to get in touch with my friends like this, you know, calls used to cost a lot. This free call between WhatsApp and the fact that I can call 8 of my friends in the US on camera is just
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I know it doesn't seem ridiculous to you because you've seen the evolution of it, but I missed this. Video call did not exist when I was kidnapped. Wow. It was very, very primitive and slow. And then you come to me today. So I have written a book about my kidnapping.
Yeah.
And I have marketed that book through
social media. Amazing.
And I didn't understand social media. I still, like, you just taught me something.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not a problem. It's a thing. When you don't understand something, every day something new comes up. So now I've realized monetization on Twitter is as easy as a VPN.
Yeah.
But a VPN didn't exist back in 2011.
Wow.
So a VPN is new technology. When I came back, Netflix existed. Netflix and chill. What's Netflix and chill? Oh, Blu-rays and DVDs have been replaced by digital. Now you never need. I have 5,000 DVDs.
Wow.
Like, you know, I had a collection.
Okay.
And they're just redundant. They're obsolete. They're of no use. I don't have a DVD player anymore.
We'll make a wall at Future Fest with your 5,000
with my
DVDs.
With my DVDs, right?
We'll show how fast technology moves. There's a wall with 5,000 DVDs
and no player.
and no player. And no player.
I said then. So I have sold this book through social media, and I'll give you an example. Like YouTube is also a kind of social. I know it's a video streaming platform or whatever it is. All of these interviews that I do, like even my interview with you, this podcast that we're doing, it'll go on YouTube, which is a social media thing. It generates views. Suppose we generate 10,000 views, right? Okay. And 1% of those people, which is 100 people, go and buy my book. These are crazy numbers.
Yeah.
In book selling. Because when I went into the book industry, they said it's dead. The book industry is dead. The highest selling author in Pakistan is like 8,000 books. I've sold like 25,000 books.
Oh, wow.
I said, everywhere there were these barriers of, authors don't do interviews. Why? It's not classy.
Okay.
The book should sell. But nothing sells unless you sell it.
I mean,
if you write the world's best book and you don't go and talk about it, it'll just be nothing on someone's shelf.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's unfortunately with time I'm not Oscar Wilde, and this is not Oscar Wilde's generation, but if he was alive today, he would be on social media marketing his books and his literature through Instagram, through TikTok, through YouTube, through Facebook, and you have to use all of these platforms. Now, for me, it's ridiculous. I don't know how to use TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok. I mean, whatever it is, everything has a, I never even thought the day would come where I would say I'm too old for this. Okay?
Yeah.
But I am too old for TikTok. But I sat with my team and we worked out, because it's a very powerful medium.
Yeah,
and you just because I'm too old for it doesn't mean
you can't use
that I have the liberty to ignore it, because I can't.
Yeah.
And because my work, whether it's my book or my personal business, is very reliant on these websites.
Absolutely.
If you look at any of the big real estate developers in the world, any of them, they're all on social media, and they are no longer selling their companies. They're selling themselves.
Yeah.
I am actually what you are investing in.
Yes, absolutely.
And now, like, for example, I find it insane, but like, wherever I go, I get a lot of respect because of who my father was.
Yeah.
The gentleman that I met, the first thing, and by the way, for me, it's an amazing honor that मुझे जाने मतलब मेरा आखिरी नाम सुनते ही आप मुझे बता दें कि आपको मेरे वालिद साहब की कितनी इज्जत थी, उनकी क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन थी. इससे बड़ी इज्जत तो इंसान को मिल ही नहीं सकती. And by the way, how easy does a conversation become for me when that's how you break the ice with me? So you make me feel so comfortable and so proud and so happy to even engage in this conversation because of how you started it. Now imagine this amazing Pakistani man, so many of us, you're 10 years younger than me, and we're all, from different walks of life with different interests and different ages. But we all have heard about my father, and independently, not even being his son, I can tell you what a phenomenal mind he had, and some of the things that we take for granted, he actually gave us the foundation so that we can have all these things inside in Pakistan. Imagine if someone like him, when he was young and when he started out, had all this.
What would have,
he didn't have the option to work smart. He had to work hard. Working smart meant 20-hour days. And 20-hour days because your report was on a typewriter. You had to cancel the line and restart. You know what I'm saying?
And
your calculators were so primitive, man. Just think about your basic calculations. Your mind was making difficult calculations and formulas, but manually because the option didn't exist. Like,
absolutely.
Something amazing that my father used to say was, there was no television when I was born. And when he was growing up, he used to have to go to a cinema to see the highlights of a match. So the match had happened in the highlights, or they would listen to the match on radio. So, and just imagine where we are today. I stream
on your phone,
in my plane now. I was just on an Emirates flight, and I was watching the Champions League match.
Amazing.
And I actually didn't know that we could do that. And when the match came on and it said live, I just thought, I mean, I don't like reacting, and everybody thinking, ये कौन सा caveman, पता नहीं किधर गार से ये बंदा है, इसको हर वक्त हर चीज shock कर देती है. But I mean, I was completely blown away that I was 39,000 feet in the air and live streaming a football game. And the only person I could say to was my wife, who, just looked at me and said, "What's wrong with you?" So, but yeah, it's just absolutely insane. And the thing is that I have done like 200 interviews and podcasts and live talks. And basically, it's a lot of work. It's tiring as well.
But I hope this is the first one about technology, no?
I yap on endlessly, but I think so. I think this is the first time that we're focused on tech. But yeah, it's just it's insane how it's helped my this incident that happened with me, and it's helped me put it on this platform where so many people can read about it, hear about my story. That's crazy. I never thought while I was kidnapped or when I came back, that that people have this interest, or you can even get your story across like this to people. It's great.
We actually had a question. So this we do in all our interviews. We feel कि travel as a Pakistani because we don't go to our neighbors, we don't move here. So हमें नहीं पता पाकिस्तान के बारे में दुनिया क्या है. Majority of the people. So then some of us are lucky enough or privileged enough to travel outside, right? But then our perspective and what we experience can actually help a lot of other people see the world. YouTube video एक गोरे की लगी है, मैं थाईलैंड गया, इटली गया, वो और बात है. ठीक है, आपका 13 साल में पाकिस्तान से जाना जो है वो एक और पर्सपेक्टिव है, वो यहाँ पर ज़्यादा रिलेटेबल है. तो आपने ऑलरेडी शेयर कर दिया है. बट आई थिंक कि जो हमारी बात हो रही थी नेशन बिल्डिंग पे, वी कॉल इट, आई पर्सनली हैव अ लॉट ऑफ होप with the current interim setup, right? So I don't understand states craft as much, but what I see is there are very intelligent people now, and I don't know ये government कितनी देर चलती है नहीं चलती, मुझे 7 महीने. So but मुझे लगता है कि डॉक्टर उमर सैफ, मोहम्मद अली एनर्जी मिनिस्टर, गोहर एजाज कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर, and the other people you see, and it seems that each one of them might be the best fit to get the thing done. Like for IT, I can vouch. Dr. Saab is the best thing.
He is, right? I mean, I can't vouch for him, but he is. He's
and maybe this setup can actually get work done. Because like we have a work done problem right now. Right now, Pakistan doesn't have a corruption problem. Right now, Pakistan has no problems. In my opinion, those problems are nothing as compared to the economic issue that we're facing. That हमारे घर में खाना नहीं है और हम कह रहे हैं कि यार ये जो है ना, ये मेरे भाई ने थोड़े पैसे ज़्यादा ले लिए हैं और इस वाले ने कम लिए हैं. तो ठीक है यार, फिक्स करते हैं, हम अपने मॉरल इश्यूज भी सही करेंगे. पहले हम पैसे कमा लें, पहले मुल्क में पैसा आना चाहिए, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ आनी चाहिए.
यार देखो, सिंगापुर दुनिया की सबसे सक्सेसफुल मुल्कों में से एक है और वो सबसे करप्ट मुल्कों में से भी एक है. यूएस इज मोर करप्ट देन, मतलब इंडिया वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी. चाइना में तो वो डेली फांसी देते हैं, पता चलता है $500 मिलियन इसने लिया था. मतलब ये $1,00,000 की फांसी भी नहीं है ना, $500 मिलियन की फांसियां देते हैं. और द यूके इज,
देखिए उधर $500 मिलियन इधर घड़ी के पीछे जो है ना वो जेल में भी डाल देते. तो हमारी करप्शन का स्टैंडर्ड भी बहुत लो है.
ऐसे मेरा इसके ऊपर बड़ा सख्त व्यू था. अब आप ले ही आए इस बात, मेरा बहुत सख्त व्यू था, लेकिन मुझे इस पे बड़ा काम डाउन कराया.
ठीक है,
सही है. काम डाउन ऐसे किया गया है कि मेरे कुछ दोस्त जो खुद इसमें इन्वॉल्व थे, उन्होंने मुझे समझाया है कि यार देखो, अब कानून होता है. अगर वो आपको अलाउ करता है बेनिफिट,
ठीक है,
तो इंसान यूजुअली जब उसके सामने बेनिफिट आता है ना, लीगल बेनिफिट,
ठीक है,
तो ही इज द वीकेस्ट क्रिएशन. वो उस वक्त ही पता चलता है, क्योंकि आप बेनिफिट ले लेते हैं और आपको लगता भी नहीं है कुछ गलत है, कुछ आप बेनिफिट मिला है यार. हाँ, मैं 10 रुपए दूं, मुझे 100 रुपए मिले, इससे बेहतर क्या हो सकता है? यही तो हमारे दिन निकलते हैं घर से. 10 रुपए पे 100, अगर लीगल है, अगर हमें लीगल 10 रुपए पे 100 रुपए मिल रहे हैं तो हम तो कर रहे हैं. अब गवर्नमेंट की मशीनरी ऐसी है कि अगर आपको वो अलाउ करते हैं कि आपको ये घड़ी मिली है, सही है, अब ये है $1,00,000 की घड़ी, सही है, आप गए हैं FBI के पास और आपने कहा इसकी कीमत क्या है? FBI कहता है इसकी कीमत है $4 लाख. आपने $1,00,000 की घड़ी $4 लाख करा ली और उसके बाद आपने 10% कीमत पे उसको खरीद लिया. ये आपका कानून है.
ठीक है.
अब आपका ज़मीर किधर आता है ये मुझे नहीं पता. मेरा ज़मीर मुझे नहीं अलाउ करेगा कि ये घड़ी मैं खरीदूं. सही है,
ठीक है.
अब मेरे दोस्तों ने जो मुझे समझाया है कि वो आप होंगे क्योंकि आपके वालिद साहब ने बड़ा काम किया था और पैसे शैसे कमाए थे, तो आप खरीद सकते हैं. सही है, हम सारों के वालिद साहबों के पास नहीं थे, तो अगर हमें किसी स्टेट डिग्निटरी ने घड़ी दे दी और पता चला कि उसकी इतनी कीमत है और हम 10% प्राइस पे खरीद सकते हैं, इसमें कोई गलती नहीं है. बट कानून इजाजत देता है.
ठीक है, 10% किस चीज का, किस वैल्यू का?
FBR की वैल्यू की. और अगर FBR ने वैल्यू गलत लगाई है तो वो FBR की गलती है.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल आई एग्री कि यानी कि कोई सिस्टम में फ्लॉ है.
मगर अगर आप अब वही लोग इसलिए मुझे समझा रहे थे कि हमारे और खान साहब में फर्क है. सही है, हाँ, कि हमने सिस्टम का फायदा उठाया है, ये हम मानते हैं, मगर जब तक कि आपने ये बात नहीं की तो हमने तो सोचा भी नहीं कि हमने कुछ गलत किया था. ये तो तुम्हारे मुंह से बात निकली है तो मैंने ऐसे सोचा, वरना ये तो ऐसे मैं तुम्हें आऊं और कहूं शहबाज वो $1,00,000 क्या मरला है, कनाल है डिफेंस में, DHA में घर है, 10 करोड़ उसकी प्राइस है, 2 करोड़ में तुम्हें देता हूँ, लेते हो? एक बेचारी बेवा है और उसके 2 यतीम बच्चे हैं, भूखे नंगे मर रहे हैं, 2 करोड़ में तुम्हें मिलती है, तुम 3 देते हो उस बेवा और उसके 2 भूखे बच्चों को? कि 10 करोड़ का उसका घर है, मुझे 2 करोड़ में मिल रहा है, तुम उसको 1 करोड़ एक्स्ट्रा दोगे? 99% लोग कहेंगे नहीं, वो 2 करोड़ में घर लेंगे। और उसने जो मुझे समझाया था वो ऐसे ही समझाया था कि ये बेनिफिट होता है। और जब तक कि आपको 10 साल बाद शायद आपका बच्चा ना कहे कि आपने एक बेवा औरत और 2 यतीमों से 10 करोड़ का घर 2 करोड़ के लिए लिया था, आपको शर्म नहीं आई? जब उस वक्त तक तो मुझे पता ही नहीं चला, मैं तो 10 साल घूम रहा था, मैंने 10 करोड़ का घर 2 करोड़ में लिया, 10 करोड़ का घर 2 करोड़ में लिया। समझ में?
क्योंकि आप कह रहे हैं कि सिस्टम चल ही इस तरह रहा है।
हाँ, मगर अगर मैं बेवाओं और बच्चों का 10 करोड़ रुपए का घर बेच दूं, उनके ऊपर स्टे डाल दूं और फिर उनको 1 करोड़ रुपए दूं, तो मुझे जो समझाया गया था कि ये फर्क है बिटवीन एक्चुअली बाइंग इट फॉर 2 करोड़ रुपए एंड व्हाट खान साहब डिड विद द तोशा खाना. So this is the difference. I'll leave you on that note.
Chalo, thank you so much for coming. It has been a wonderful conversation, and looking forward to seeing you at our next events.
Brother, thank you.